What is going on, everybody? Blake with the Linux Fraud. So today I wanted to focus on some more privacy-centered stuff, and actually that's going to be Privacy.com. So what Privacy.com is, it's a website that lets you actually create virtual debit cards so that you can use them online. And the concept of this, I genuinely really like this concept because I don't like putting my actual debit card, like my banking information, on websites online. Now, I don't put my banking information on just any website, right? And I hope you wouldn't either. But even things like Amazon, if you want to buy something for your computer, you're buying clothes, there's a lot of reasons that you would put your debit card on the internet, right? Onto websites. Hopefully they're reputable. At least I don't just go around putting my, banking information in just any old website. But still, even websites like Amazon, or maybe you're putting your banking information into a service or something like a VPN, or maybe you pay for encrypted email. Even sites that are more privacy centric, I wouldn't want to put my actual banking information in. And privacy.com helps you not have to do that. For free, you can literally, this sounds like a fucking ad, trust me, I'm gonna talk about some negatives about this. For free, they let you create up to 12 cards, I think it's a month. In theory, this is great, this is amazing. And this is, privacy.com's the only one that I've found where it's not like a bank. Pretty much anywhere else, like because I have been looking for some alternatives to this, to virtual credit cards or debit cards, not credit cards, because of what I'm going to talk about here in a minute in this video. Any other service, it's usually like one of those weird off-the-wall banking, like online banking websites. They use this other service. So privacy.com uses Plaid. And what Plaid is it's a fintech, which is a financial technology service that is basically a link between you and your banking or your bank. When you sign up for privacy.com, you obviously have to put in your actual banking information, right? Because you're using your money. The virtual debit card is kind of think of it as like a VPN, but not. You're just masking your actual banking information, right? We're gonna go over both privacy.com's privacy policy and Plaid's. Now, privacy.com's is iffy. Plaid just seems a lot more invasive, solely because when you give them your banking information, you actually give them your username and password to that bank account. That, I don't like that. What I found out by reading through their stuff today is that they actually can they can see all of your transactions, the times, where you bought stuff, and they're storing that information. I don't like that. I don't like the username and password, right? But then also, they're taking that information and taking all the data from like what you've bought and where you bought it, the time you bought it, all that, and so much more. And then they are for sure selling that shit, right? They use it. I'm pretty sure they say they don't sell it to third-party investors, but still, they do still use and share your data. But the biggest one for me was that they store your username and your password to your bank account. But there is a way that you can use this and kind of circumvent the amount of information that you give them. So of course, yada yada yada, our commitment to user privacy. I don't think you could find a website out there that offers a service online that doesn't say the user privacy is the most important thing to them. They always say that. So right down here, if we look at the data that they do collect and use, your name, email address, phone number, birth date, government issued ID number, payment card, and bank information, as well as other information you may be asked to provide when signing up for an account, providing identity verification, or engaging in a transaction. I know just a second ago I said that they don't store your banking information, and what I did specifically mean the username and password. This is so broad that I wouldn't be surprised if that was also lumped in there. Now, I don't know if they specifically have to, with something like that, if they have to specifically say that we log your username and password, because Plaid does. They may, but like I said, that just seems so broad. Payment card and bank information, that sounds like your username and password, but maybe it's not. Other data, transaction data, device data, location data, user data, your IP, your the type of hardware you use, your operating system. So then we could also jump down to, now it's one thing when they collect this data, it's another when they share the data, right? There's a little part of me that's like, okay, if there's a service out there that I like and that I can kind of get on board with. Not that I want to give the least amount of information as possible. Like, look at Mulvad VPN. Literally, you don't even got to put a name in to use their VPN. That's awesome. I think that's how every fucking service should be. And obviously, it can be like that. It's just that these people want to collect this information. So if not saying that Mulvad is the end all be all. From the research I've done on them, they seem like a decent company. So with third parties who may access data about you to provide you with their services, third parties who may access data about you to perform functions on our behalf. So that would be probably like Plaid. Financial institutions, processors, payment card associations, and other entities that are involved in the payment process. Okay, well, that's definitely Plaid. With government and law enforcement where reasonably necessary to protect user or public safety or comply with applicable law. Yes, privacy is based in U.S., so of course that's within the 5 eyes, 9 eyes, 14 eyes, all that shit. So if the Chloes come knocking, they're going to open the door probably before they even knock, which that's whatever. Understandable. My whole thing with that is that, and I'm not going to get into government surveillance. My quick little tidbit on that is that you're not hiding from them. There's things that you can do to kind of shield yourself, to mask yourself, but you're not staying 100%. You're not. People who think they're a ghost from the government are not a ghost from the government. So, that's just my opinion. Although I don't like that. I don't like all the data that they have. I'm more worried, or not worried, but I more so protect against, more so like the fucking script kiddies, honestly, are the most dangerous because they don't know what they're doing. And even if they're just trying to be funny or whatever, they could really, fuck you up if you let them. That's the thing, is you personally have to usually, in those instances, let them. And it all comes down to the human being using the device, honestly. You can put as many antivirus tools that you want and use all the fucking things on privacy guides or whatever that website is. You could use all that shit. But if you go and click on that damn link, you're done. Of course, antivirus could detect that shit. But you get what I'm saying. You are your biggest threat when it comes to script kiddies, the quote-unquote black hat hackers. Because there's obviously the app groups, right? But then there's the people, the way smaller adversaries that are okay with hurting the general public. Most of the time, app groups are targeting high-end targets, right? Not just your average Joe, because they want money or information that average Joe does not have. So whatever, I just got on a fucking rant. Let's get back to this. What was I saying before I went on that? Oh yeah, the whole government thing. Privacy is not really my biggest enemy here, right? It's really Plaid. Them having my username and password feels icky to me. And now this is the privacy policy for Plaid. The first thing I want to look at is, well, if we go down here, you can just jump to the section, and the sections I want to focus on are data we collect, how we use your data, and how we share your data. Protection of data would be a good one to look over as well. So the data that they collect is going to be obviously data that we provide to them. For data from financial partners when you connect your financial account, so when you actually give them your banking information, data from electronic device that you use to connect, details about your hardware, OS, everything like that, just like privacy. I mean, I don't even have to say this, right? Privacy and Plaid are they have the same fucking information, right? Either Plaid is getting it from privacy or privacy is getting it from Plaid. They pretty much have all of the same information. But again, if we jump down to here, of course, they store your name, email address. This right here, login data, that is what I do not like. When required by the provider of your account, like your username and password, account and routing number, or a security token. I don't even trust my bank with that stuff, let alone a service like this, right? I know Plaid Plaid is big. What I don't like about this is, of course, the password, but then also, hell, it even stores your social security number, date of birth, security questions, and answers. I just don't know why, why do you need that? That's for the bank, in case I forget my password and stuff. Why do you need my security questions and answers? Now, this is another thing, because they have your fucking password and username. They collect actual account data. They collect stuff about your account balance, credit accounts, loan accounts, investment accounts, identifiers, account transactions. This is another thing, and professional data. So data about transactions, it's going to tell the amount, the date, the type, the price, location. It gives them all of the information. If you were to go and open up a bank account that you used solely for online purchases, now for one, you could just actually put that information into websites, and for the most part, Amazon, I keep saying Amazon like I don't know any other website. I don't really buy stuff online. Services that you want to use, you could just put your actual debit card information in it. And if it's just a debit card that every month you go and throw in however much you need to pay for those services or whatever you want to pay with that card online for that month, you then are not going and using it to go and buy dinner, to go and get gas, to go and do all that stuff. So they're not getting all that information about you. Yeah, they're going to see the information about, what you bought online. At that point, you're always going to have information and data out there about you, right? If I'm using the same card that is connected to Plaid, that's also, like I said, that I'm also using to buy gas, to go out to dinner, shit like that, they're going to know a lot more about me. They're going to know about routines. They're going to know about where I'm located, because online, they obviously still have your IP address and stuff, so that doesn't matter. They're just not going to have like a fucking roadmap of what you do on a daily basis with your money, right? If you just go out, if you made a bank account solely for online purchases, you could then still sign up for privacy and have your virtual cards. Or again, at that point, you could just use that actual debit card online, whatever. But see, then at that point is if there is a breach and an adversary gets gets your bank account information, they have your actual card. With privacy, you can set up one time, and again, this is not a fucking ad for it, but it sounds like it sometimes. You can set up one-time payments. You can easily cancel the card, shit like that. So, and I just think using it that way is a little bit better. But that's about it, guys. I know, kind of all over the place. This is just some stuff that I'm pretty passionate about. I think that people deserve their privacy and security. But the thing is nobody's going to do it for you, right? There are some, few diamonds in the rough kind of thing where the company actually cares about people. Other than that, you really have to be accountable for yourself, and you have to put security measures in place for yourself. The only person that's going to do it for you is you. So I just wanted to go over this stuff, and also give you a way to still use this service or a service like this. You could, of course, apply that logic that I was talking about into anything, right? So I just want to go over that. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, consider hitting that like button. And if you really enjoyed it, consider hitting that subscribe button, because we have a bunch more content coming your way.